Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started with chapter 3 of Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya. Let's begin with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishram Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vidnyana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambha Rasambodhe Padambujhayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarohama Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, we are going to start the third chapter of Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya. And the recordings Praneshwari Lakshmi Mataji, I think it's uploaded on the YouTube channel, Ādi Gadādhara Dāsa YouTube channel. I think so. If not, maybe Ajay Govind Prabhu and Sarvapalagram Prabhu can take care of it. So today we are going to start chapter 3 of Jaiva Dharma. We are discussing how Sannyasi Thakur, who was impersonalist, by good fortune had darshan of a pure devotee, then came to Shri Vrindavan Dham, associated with more devotees there, and he happened to meet some Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Vrindavan. And on their recommendation, he came to Shri Navadvip Dham. Specifically on the recommendation of some advanced devotees, Sannyasi Thakur took shelter of Shri Premdas Paramhams Babaji Maharaj in Shri Godrumdvip. Under the guidance of Shri Premdas Paramhams Babaji Maharaj, Sannyasi Thakur started chanting Harinam, started living the Vaishnava lifestyle, was attending the evening kirtans and spiritual discourses of all the Babajis living in Godrumdvip, who were all very advanced devotees. And in their association, he developed a taste for chanting. And now day and night he's chanting in the holy abode of Shri Navadvip Dham. It is a fact that our spiritual credits that we get for devotional service are multiplied hundreds of times when we do bhajan in the holy Dham. That is why we see in our Vaishnava history, many great devotees took shelter of the holy Dham. The Pandavas spent time in Kamyavan during their Vanvas, which is part of the Vrajmandal, Chaurasikos Vrajmandal. Dhruv Maharaj was advised by his Gurudev Shripad Narad Muni to go and perform bhajan on the banks of Yamuna. Maharaj Ambarish also performed his Ekadashi Dwadashi Vrat on the banks of Yamuna in Shri Vrindavan Dham. So in this way, many great devotees have done bhajan. Srila Prabhupada also took shelter of Seva Kunj, Shri Shri Radha Damodar temple, and performed his bhajan there while preparing himself for the worldwide mission of preaching Krishna consciousness. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, in his later days, took Babaji Vesh and did bhajan in Shri Navadvip Dham. So in this way, the Sannyasi Thakur took shelter of Godrumdvip and performed bhajan. One day, later in the evening, when Sannyasi Thakur was sitting and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, with great absorption, he was chanting. And suddenly he had a vision of the divine Navadvip Dham. According to Navadvip Dham Mahatmya by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there is a conversation between Sri Jiva Goswami and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, where Sri Jiva Goswami asks Sri Nityananda Ram, how is it if the holy Dham is a spiritual world, how is it that some sinful people are living in the Dham? We see people sometimes cheat in the Dham, they lie in the Dham, sometimes they use foul language, sometimes they break the regulative principles, but they're living in the Dham. So if the Dham is Chinmay, if the residents of the Dham are spiritually very advanced, it is their last birth in this world, then how is it that they are breaking the regulative principles and committing so many sins while living in the Dham? So in Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, in response to this question by Srila Jiva Goswami, Sri Nityananda Prabhu explains that there are two things, living in the Dham and living on the Dham. In Kali Yuga, Sri Nityananda Prabhu explains that the holy Dham also is covered by a layer of Maya. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga Maya samavrita. Covered. Avrita means covered. And there are these people who don't have devotion, who are not following the regulative principles, they're performing sinful activities, they're living on the dham. They're living on the dham, but they're living on the covering of Maya. So they don't really have entrance into the dham. And then there are sincere souls who are living in the dham, following the regulative principles, doing bhajan. They are actually living in the dham. And when we live in the dham, sometimes by Krishna's mercy, when we become accomplished in our bhajan, Krishna may reveal himself, or Krishna may reveal his holy dham. So his eyes were closed, and through Rid Nayan, through the eyes of the heart, Sannyas Thakur was able to have darshan of the holy abode of Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham. Sannyas Thakur saw beautiful Chintamani Dham, not different from Vrindavan. And there was Shankar Bhagwan offering prayers. Lord Brahmaji was there. The Chatush Kumars were there. Exactly how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw. Shiva Shukanarada Preme Goda Goda Bhakati Vinoda Deke Gaurara Sampada Bhakati Vinoda Deke. Around 200 years ago, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw. Not even 200 years ago. Around 125, 130 years ago, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this Gaurarti. So he saw. This is what he's seeing. Rid Nayane, through the eyes of the heart. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajan. The saintly devotees, because their eyes have become transcendental eyes, because the eyes are now covered with Prem Anjan, the mascara of Prem, love. They are able to see Krishna, they are able to see Krishna's holy abode, they are able to see Krishna's pastimes. So Sannyas Thakur got a glimpse of the Aprakat Dham. There are 3 types of dham. You can note this down. According to our acharyas, there are 3 types of dhams. There is the Prakata Dham with the Prakata Leela. This happens when the Supreme Lord has descended and is performing pastimes. In case of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Navadvip Dham, it was around 500 years ago. In case of Lord Shri Krishna in Shri Vrindavan Dham, it was around 5,000 years ago. So when the Supreme Lord descends into the holy abode and performs Leela, that is called Prakata Dham. At that time, how Vrindavan was 5,000 years ago, when Damodar Leela took place, when Ras Leela took place, when Govardhan Dharan Leela took place, how Vrindavan was, that is Prakat Dham. How Navadvip was 500 years ago when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing his Nam Sankirtan Leela, taking Ganga Snan 3 times every day, teaching his students about Krishna, performing Kirtan all night in the courtyard of Shrivas Thakur. Today is some Tithi, right? Shrivas Thakur's. Let me see. Yes, 12th. Today is the disappearance day of Srila Shrivas Thakur. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakya Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna. Panchatattva is Krishna. Krishna manifests in 5 forms in Kali Yuga as Panchatattva. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri Gadadhar Pandit, and Shrivas Thakur. Shrivas Thakur is an incarnation of Shripad Narad Muni. And today is his disappearance day. Sri Shrivas Thakur ki jai. So there is the Prakat Dham. Then in the spiritual world, this Prakata Dham is actually a replica
expansion of the aprakat dham. Aprakat because it is not manifest to our eyes in this material world. Aprakat dham means the spiritual world, where there is eternally Vrindavan, Navadvip, Dwarka, Ayodhya, and eternal leelas are taking place there with the Nitya Siddha Bhaktas. So that is the aprakat dham. Aprakat leela is always going on, eternally. Prakat leela happens when Krishna descends. And aprakat leela in the spiritual world is eternally going on. So there is the prakat dham, there is the aprakat dham in the paravyam, in the spiritual sky. And there is a drishyaman dham, third type. Drishyaman dham. Drishyaman dham is the dham that is visible to our eyes today. Today, if we go on June 12th or June 13th in India, if we go to 2023, we go to Shri Navadvip Dham or we go to Shri Vrindavan Dham, the dham that we see today, that is called Drishyaman Dham. The dham as it is visible to our eyes today. All three are dham. But in the Drishyaman Dham, we are not able to see Krishna. We are not able to see how the abode was when Krishna was manifesting his pastimes here. But when someone is like Sannyas Thakur, has taken shelter of a Rasik Vaishnava and performing bhajan in the Dham very sincerely, it is possible that by Krishna's mercy, the Dham may be revealed. The aprakat Dham may be revealed to the devotee. And that's the darshan that Sannyasi Thakur had today, late in the evening as he was doing his bhajan. He saw beautiful homes in Navadvip, all made of touchstones. He had darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu doing Nam Sankirtan. Everyone was doing Nam Sankirtan. Everyone was absorbed in Nam Sankirtan. Golokera Premadhana, Hari Nam Sankirtan. He had this vision and then the vision disappeared. But for some moments, Sannyasi Thakur was able to directly have darshan in the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eternal abode, Sri Navadvip Dham. His hair stood on end, his eyes were filled with tears of ecstasy. His voice was choked up. He became stunned. His color changed. He was trembling. He was perspiring. All the Ashtasattvic Vikar, the 8 symptoms of spiritual ecstasy manifested in the body of Sannyasi Thakur. He went running to his Gurudev, Shri Premdas Paramahamsa Babaji Maharaj, who was also sitting and chanting, fell at his feet and revealed everything to Gurudev. These divine experiences that fortunate souls may have should not be told in public. They should never be disclosed. Otherwise, few things happen. It is possible that people will take it cheaply. It is possible that we become puffed up and we develop pride, false pride, that I am a very great Vaishnava. And it may unnecessarily create envy in other sadhakas, that how he got darshan, how she got darshan, like that. So it is best to hide the bhajan. It is good for others because we are not giving them opportunity to develop irsha or pride. It is good for us because we are not giving ourselves an opportunity to become puffed up and proud. And it is good for the whole world because spiritual experiences, when kept hidden, there is less chance that people will take it cheaply. Otherwise, everybody will start saying, just to fit in, out of peer pressure. I had darshan. Every day somebody will have darshan. So we don't want to make it cheap. We want to keep the value of the substance. Therefore, it is the opinion of our acharyas that our divine experiences should be kept hidden. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada often quoted this, Apanera bhajan katha na kahibe yatha tatha. Don't talk about your bhajan here and there, that I chanted so many rounds, I had this experience, I had this divine vision. It's very rare that someone may have such a divine vision, very rare. Only devotees like Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they can have these experiences. It is said that when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada completed his vrat, 9.5 years, chanting more than 192 rounds every day, completing 1 billion Harinam, he had darshan of the Panchatattva. They appeared to him, all 5 Panchatattva. They appeared to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and told him, if you sit and chant here, who is going to preach? Get up and preach. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, I cannot do it alone. Ekaki amar nahi paya bala harinama sankirtan. I cannot push forward this harinama sankirtan movement alone. I need an army of your associates. And Panchatattva told Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada that the army has already appeared. They have already sent the army. You just start preaching and they will join you. They will come to you. And the rest is history, my dear friends. But these are very, very rare souls who have darshan. And Sannyas Thakur today, on the disappearance day of Shri Shivas Pandit, had this very good, amazing fortune of having darshan of the Aprakata Dham, Aprakata Leela. Shri Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj was very happy to hear about this realization, and he confirmed that what you had was actually the darshan of the divine abode, Shri Navadvip Dham. Saying this, Sannyasi Thakur was embraced by his Gurudev, Shri Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj. And with that embrace, Shri Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj told Sannyasi Thakur that, my dear Vaishnava Das, I am so happy for you and I am so proud of you. By saying that, he was initiated. He became Vaishnava Das. Sannyasi Thakur's name is Vaishnava Das Babaji Maharaj. He has become Vaishnava Das Babaji now. That was the Namkaran, that was the initiation. Hearing his name that he had been initiated, now he immediately threw away his sannyas danda, he threw away his sannyas robes and wore the simple discarded cloth of a dhambasi, kopin and a markin, just a cloth wrapped around the lower body on top of the kopin. Kopin is like the undergarment and markin is the sannyasi way of wearing dhoti, and just a little chadar to cover the upper body. He took tulsi mala and wore it around his neck, and he washed away his horizontal tilak of a Mayavadi sannyasi, and for the first time he applied the Urdhva Pundra Gaudiya Vaishnava tilak, and it looked very effulgent. And he came in the assembly in the evening. Every evening, these Babajis used to have satsang. Generally, Shri Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj would speak in that assembly. And today, everybody was very happy to see Sannyasi Thakur had given up his Mayavadi Ekdanda and his sannyasi clothes, his tilak of the impersonalist school philosophy. And he was wearing Urdhva Pundra Vaishnava tilak, he was wearing Tulsi Kanthi Mala, and the simple dress of a Gaudiya Vaishnava Babaji, given up his sannyas danda also. The devotees are very happy to see this transformation of Sannyasi Thakur. And Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj told everyone that his name is Vaishnava Das Babaji. And everybody was very happy. They said, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. In that assembly tonight is one very very interesting personality. His name is Lahiri. Lahiri. He was born in a very aristocratic, rich family. So he was very wealthy, very rich. And he was classically trained in Delhi in those traditional Hindustani music schools. And he knew how to sing the rags, and he was a very accomplished classical singer. So he came to know that in the evenings, these Babajis, they come together and they sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he wanted to show off his musical skills because he was also in Navadvip that time. So he started coming in the evenings. And out of etiquette, because he came there to sing, he asked them, "Can I sing?" Now, actually, the pure devotee should dominate the kirtan always, because they chant Shuddhana, or at least they chant offenseless Nam, Aparadha Rahit Nam. There is Nam Aparadh and there is Aparadha Rahit Nam, which is offenseless chanting. At least they chant offenselessly, or they may chant, some of them advanced devotees may be chanting Shuddhana. So they should dominate the kirtan. But out of etiquette, he is a visitor, he is a guest, he came with so much enthusiasm to sing. So they would allow him to sing. So for last 4 or 5 days, he had been coming and he would be singing. And he would take alap and he would sing in complicated rags and look at others for recognition after singing. And the devotees tolerated. And but after doing kirtan with these pure devotees for 4 or 5 days, there was some transformation in his heart. The holy name was showing effects, positive effects. So today he asked a question, first time. Till now he was just coming, singing, leading the kirtan and showing off his musical talent and musical learning. But today for the first time, he asked question. So let's go to chapter 3. Shri Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Very grateful to Kirtida Sundari Mataji and Ajay Govind Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to speak on the ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya of North America. So this is chapter 3. So this is the question that Lahiri Sahib asked the assembly. He specifically asked Shri Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj because he was the leader of those Babajis. This is the question of Lahiri Mahashaya, who is extremely learned in Dharma Shastras. He is very well educated and he is also a very accomplished classical music singer. His question is, the Manu Smriti or the Manu Samhita and other similar Dharma Shastras state that the Brahman caste is the highest. So of all the Varnas, the Brahman Varna is the best. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. 4 Varnas are there. Chatur Varnam Maya Shrishtam. Guna, Karma, Vibhagasha. According to Guna and Karma, Lord Krishna himself has created this Varnashram system. And the 4 Varnas are based on qualities and work. So the Brahman is supposed to be in the mode of goodness. So he's superior to the Kshatriyas, who are mixed goodness and passion, and the Vaishyas, who are mainly in mode of passion, and also superior to the Shudras, who are mainly in the mode of ignorance. So Brahman caste is supposed to be the highest. According to these Shastras, the Dharma Shastras, the religious rites such as Sandhya Vandana, the chanting of the Vedic mantras, such as the Brahma Gayatri mantra, at the 3 Sandhyas, dawn, noon, and sunset. According to Dharma Shastras, chanting of the Gayatri mantra 3 times a day, the Vedic mantras like the Gayatri mantra, which contain the pranava, it's considered to be nitya karma according to Dharma Shastras. These activities are called nitya karma, which means eternal duties for the Brahmanas. So if these activities are obligatory, why is Vaishnava behavior opposed to them? Which means not all Vaishnavas chant the Brahma Gayatri. In fact, the Babajis in our line, in the Gaudiya line, Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jaiva Goswami, Shri Loknath Goswami, all these Babajis who had taken Babaji Bhe, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, it's not that they wore the Brahmin thread and every day they chanted the 7 different mantras that we chant in today's society, those who are second initiated. No, they chanted Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Srila Haridas Thakur, who is the Acharya of all the Vaishnavas, he is the Namacharya. Srila Haridas Thakur never chanted the Gayatri mantras. So Lahiri Mahashaya is, well, he is not Mahashaya right now. Lahiri Sahib, he is questioning why the Vaishnava behavior is opposed to Nitya Karma, like chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra, which all the Brahmanas who have undergone the Upana and Samskar, they chant. So it's a very valid question. According to Dharma Shastra, one must chant the Gayatri mantra. But these Vaishnava Babajis, they don't consider that important. Why? Hare Krishna. So when Shri Premdas Parama Babaji Maharaj was questioned in this way by Lahiri Sahib, Shri Premdas Parama Babaji Maharaj said, I request our dear Vaishnava Das Babaji to respond to this question. Vaishnava Das Babaji has been staying with me for a long time now. He is very much accomplished in his Nam Bhajan. He is very well learned in the scriptures. He is humble. He is submissive. And he has a service attitude. And he is very serious about his bhajan. And he is also experienced in bhajan. So I request our Vaishnava Das Babaji Maharaj to answer this question. Now he was initiated within the last 24 hours. It's his first day of initiation. And he is being told to speak in this Vaishnava Sabha. Answer the question of this visitor, Lahiri Sahib. So, Shri Premdas Paramam Babaji Maharaj asks all the assembled Gaudiya Vaishnavas, is it okay with all of you if our Vaishnavas Babaji responds to the question? And everyone unanimously says, yes, yes, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. We are all in agreement. Our dear Shri Vaishnavas Babaji Maharaj should speak. So taking the blessings of his Gurudev, Vaishnavas Babaji Maharaj, taking the dust of his Gurudev, dust of the lotus feet of his Gurudev upon his head, taking the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and offering them obeisances, remembering the mercy and the lotus feet of his Gurudev, Shri Vaishnavas Babaji Maharaj begins speaking. This is Shri Vaishnavas Babaji Maharaj replying to the question, why the Vaishnavas are opposed to Nitya Karma, like chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra. Shri Vaishnavas Babaji Maharaj says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of all different types of expansions and avatars. Sarva avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tahara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram. Sarva avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. And Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Suta Hoilose. That same Krishna has appeared in Kali Yuga as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original Godhead. He is the source of all the different types of expansions and avatars. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. He is directly Bhagwan himself. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Full of transcendental bliss. The all-pervading, featureless, Nirvishesha Brahma, Brahma Jyoti, is the effulgence of his limbs. This is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. And Paramatma, who resides in the hearts of all the jivas, is his partial expansion. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishto, Krishna says. Paramatma is Krishna's expansion, and the Brahma Jyoti is his bodily effulgence, as mentioned in Brahma Samhita. Yasya prabha prabodha jagadanda koti. May he be pleased to enlighten us from within. After taking blessings of his Gurudev and all the assembled Vaishnavas, Shri Vaishnavas Babaji Maharaj is taking the blessings of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empower me. This is important. One must do Mangalacharan before we start speaking. Because the person or the persons who are listening with faith. So we are serving them. And our Vani is not Shuddha. We should never consider our Vani to be Shuddha. So to purify our speech, first we should chant the Vedic mantras, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, chant the name of our Guru Maharaj, pray to our Guru Maharaj, pray to Panchatattva, and only then we should start speaking. That is the Vaishnava way of doing things. Because we don't know the answer, we don't know what to say, but may Krishna inspire. So here, Shri Vaishnava Babaji Maharaj is saying, may Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be pleased and enlighten us from within. Manu Samhita and other Dharma Shastras are respected throughout the world because they establish the codes and prohibitions that follow the line of thought of the Vedic Shruti Shastras. This you have to understand. Why are the Dharma Shastras like Manu Samhita respected? Because they establish codes and prohibitions, means Vidhi Nishedha. Codes means what we are supposed to do, the Vidhi. And prohibitions means Nishedha, what we are not supposed to do. Like in our Vaishnava society, we have codes of conduct. What are the codes of conduct? We chant at least 16 rounds on the Japa Mala, Tulsi Mala every day. We participate in Nam Sankirtan, we do deity worship. We read the scriptures, we attend the classes, we go to our temples at least once a week, do some seva there, hear the Bhagavatam class, like that. These are the do's. We fast on Ekadashi, tomorrow is Ekadashi in USA. And we have Nishedh, we have prohibitions. We don't eat onion garlic, we don't have illicit sex, we don't eat meat, we don't gamble. You see? So do's and don'ts are there. So these do's and don'ts are also there in the Dharma Shastras for human beings in general, for the society. And these rules and regulations mentioned in the Dharma Shastras are in line with the Vedic Shruti Shastras. Shruti Shastras are the original Shastras that were given to Brahmaji by Lord Krishna. The Vedas, the Upanishads. And Smriti refers to other literatures like the Puranas, Itihasas. Human nature has two tendencies in regard to religious pursuits. So my dear friends, now please pay attention. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Varnashram Dharma depends on these four things. Or in other words, Varnashram Dharma teaches these four things as the aim of life. Being religious, not acting against Dharma. Dharma sammat activities, not Dharma viruddha. Yaha shastra vidhi mutsrijya vartate kama karata na sa shanti avapnoti na sukham na param gati. So we have to be Dharma aviruddha. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmin bhartarsham. Krishna says that one should act according to Dharma. One should not act against Dharma. So, when we follow Dharma in regard to religious pursuit, means when we follow the path of Dharma, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. There are the four Purusharthas. So, when we follow Dharma, there are two types of tendencies that we have. People who follow Dharma have two tendencies. What are they? The first is called Vaidhi. Vaidhi Pravritti, which means to follow the rules and regulations mentioned in the Shastra, to follow the rules of the book, to play it by the book. That is called Vaidhi Marg. And this is good. To follow the rules and regulations of Shastra. This is the preliminary stage, Vaidhi Marg. The second way of following Dharma is Raganuga. Raganuga, which is when we are impelled to follow our spontaneous attraction towards Sri Krishna. So human nature has two tendencies in terms of religious pursuits. Vaidhi Pravritti, where we follow rules and regulations, and Raganuga Pravritti, where we are spontaneously attracted to Krishna. As long as the intelligence is under the control of Maya, as long as we are Maya Grasta, as long as we are having temptations, we are having mundane desires, we should know that we are under the control of Maya. As long as our intelligence, our buddhi is not purified, as long as we don't have Vishuddha buddhi, as long as our buddhi is contaminated and it's under the control of Maya, human nature must be regulated by rules and regulations. Vaidhi Bhakti should be followed. So as long as we are under the control of Maya, the Vaidhi nature should be in effect. Now, when our buddhi, when the intelligence is liberated from the bondage of Maya, when our intelligence becomes vishuddha, becomes purified, then the human nature no longer needs to be controlled, governed by the rules and regulations of the Shastra. Dekho, as long as we are uncontrolled, the mind is uncontrolled, intelligence is uncontrolled, we need to be controlled by Shastra. पर जब भगवान में चित्त वृत्ति लग गई है, when our mind is now purified and it is fixed on Krishna, then one need not be governed by the rules and regulations of Shastra. Because now the intelligence in the mind is prompted by spontaneous love. Guru prachodayat, Gaura prachodayat. Like that. In the mantras we say, prachodayat means to inspire us. May Guru inspire me. May Gauranga inspire me. May the original Kamadev inspire me. This is the prayer in the Guru Gayatri Brahman, in the Gaura Gayatri, and in the Kam Gayatri mantra. That may I be inspired by Guru, Gauranga, and Krishna. May I not be inspired by Maya. Let me be impelled. Let me be stimulated. Let me be inspired by, let me be energized by Guru, Gauranga, and Krishna. When that happens, when we don't fall victim to our senses, we have become Jitendriya by Krishna's mercy. We don't have bad thoughts. We don't have temptations. And our mind is fixed on Krishna. Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti. Like the gopis. They want to sell yogurt and butter and ghee. But instead of saying take yogurt, take butter, take ghee, what are they saying? Vikretu kama kilagopa kanya murari padarpita chitta vritti dadyadika moha vashadavochad govinda damodara madhaveti. Vikretu kama kilagopa kanya. When the young gopis go to the marketplace to sell butter, yogurt and ghee, instead of saying take butter, yogurt and ghee, they say, because of Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti, because their Chitta Vritti, their intelligence, their mind is fixed on Krishna's lotus feet. Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti, what do they say? Dadyadidokam avochar. What did they say? Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Vikretu kamat kilagopa kanya Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti. Dadyadikam moha vashadavochar Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. They said Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. They are giving butter, yogurt and ghee and say Govinda, Damodar, Madhav, take Govinda, take Damodar. Because they are completely absorbed in Krishna. That is called Raganuga Bhakti. Of course, there is a Ragatmika Bhakti because the Vraj Gopis are Ragatmika Bhaktas. Following in their footsteps would make us Raganugas. The devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they come to Sri Jagannath Puri Nilachal Dham. Shastra Vidhi says, as soon as you come, one should take darshan of Jagannath first. One should fast the day we arrive in the Dham. This is Shastra Vidhi. And the Gaudiya Vaishnavas come from Bengal to Nilachal Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham. Instead of going and seeing Jagannath, instead of fasting, they come and meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu garlands them and tells Vaninath Rai, arrange prasadam. And then Kashi Mishra, Gopinath Acharya, they arrange. And the devotees are given Jagannath's Mahaprasad. They have not even seen Jagannath. They have not even paid a visit to the temple. They just came. They're supposed to fast that day. That's the austerity we should follow when we go to the Dham, according to Shastra. But they come and they don't go to see Jagannath. They only go to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then take Jagannath Mahaprasad. They eat. Maharaj Pratap Rudra is watching from the rooftop and he's asking Kashi Mishra, asking Gopinath Acharya, asking Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what is going on? This is against the Shastra Vidhi. Why they are not following the regulations of the scriptures? Why they are not following the Vidhi, Vaidhi Marg? Then Gopinath Acharya explains. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explains to Maharaj Pratap Prabhu. This is called Prem Dasha. This is the situation of devotees who have attained spontaneous love for Mahaprabhu. What to do? They are helpless. They cannot not see Mahaprabhu. They have come to Jagannath Puri to be with Mahaprabhu. Yes, they know Jagannath is Bhagwan and they will see Jagannath. They will bow down to Jagannath. But their Ishtadev is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So naturally they are attracted helplessly towards him. And because he is offering them Jagannath, they cannot refuse. Very deep. So please don't misunderstand. This Raganuga tendency is the unadulterated nature of the Jiva. Are we supposed to, is our Jaiva Dharma Vaidhi Bhakti? No. Our Jaiva Dharma is Rag Marg. Please understand this. We need Vaidhi Bhakti in the beginning. But when we develop spontaneous attraction for Krishna, spontaneous love for Krishna, when we become completely free from anarthas, after the state of anartha nivritti, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we get entrance into Raganuga Bhakti, where we are inspired by the Ragatmika Bhaktas, the eternal associates of Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu in the spiritual world. And we offer love to Krishna spontaneously, following the mood, the sentiments, the emotions, and following the footsteps of the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna. That is called, because they are Ragatmika Bhaktas who have Rag inside, and we are following their Rag Marg, their path of spontaneous love. Rag Anuga. Anuga means, Ga means to go, Gaman, and Anu means behind, to follow. And Rag means love. Raganuga. We follow in the footsteps of the inclinations, of the love of the eternal associates. Someone in Vatsalya Prem will follow in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda. Someone in Madhurya Rati may follow in the footsteps of Lalita Sakhi or Rupa Manjari. Someone in Sakhya Bhav will have Atmiyata, will have a feeling of oneness in the mood, or may consider oneself the follower of Madhumangal or Subal or Shridam, Sudam, like that. So it depends on the bhav. Then following such a Ragatmika Bhakta, one becomes a Raganuga Bhakta. But that is beyond the stage of Anartha Nivritti. And this is the Jaiva Dharma. This is the Dharma of the soul. So see, we see that Dharma has two tendencies, Vaidhi Dharma and Raganuga Dharma. Vritti, pravritti, tendencies. Vaidhi tendency, where we are governed by rules. I want to eat a burger. Come on. It's Ekadashi, I can't eat. All right, I will not eat. Hey, I'm hungry. I just made pizza. I want to eat it. But I have to offer it first. Okay, come on, quick. 5 minutes. Ring the bell, say the mantras 3 times each. Wait 5 minutes, take it. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Vaidhi Marg. This is good. We are offering. But then slowly, we have to go deep and put our emotions in it and do Vaidhi Bhakti very nicely. Very nicely. And when we do that, when Krishna is pleased, then we go deeper and deeper. And we enter the Rag Marg. And Raganuga Bhakti, Raganuga tendency is the Jaiva Dharma. That is the unadulterated nature of the Jiva. Nature of Jiva means Jaiva Dharma. It is the perfected state of the self. Swabhav Siddha. Raganuga Bhakti is Swabhav Siddha. Because we are acting in our own bhav. Transcendental, it is Chinmay. And it is free from bondage to dull matter. Jada Mukta. Which means we are not attracted by sense gratificatory tendencies at that time. Jada Vastu will not attract us. Kanaka, Kamini, Pratishtha, money, Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, Kavitab, these things will not attract us. Mundane objects will not attract us. Right now they attract us because we have not crossed over Anartha Nivritti. We still identify with the body, and with the bodily senses we want to enjoy these objects. Wealth, women, prestige, adoration, distinction. We want these things. Gross sense gratification and subtle sense gratification. But when we identify ourselves as a servant of the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna, and we know that I am not this material body, I have a spiritual body, and I want to act according to the nature of my spiritual body, then it's a very different level of devotion. It's called Raganuga Bhakti. and we become Jada Mukta. Jada means dull things of this material world. We become Mukta, Jada Mukta. We are transcendentally situated, Chinmay and Swabhav Siddha. We are performing bhajan in our perfected spiritual body. So that's the stage of Raganuga Bhakti. It's a very exalted stage. The pure spiritual Jiva's relationship with the material world is completely terminated when Krishna wills. Srila Prabhupada also writes this, that when Krishna desires, in his bhajan, Krishna taba punya habe bhai. Ye punya kori bojo. Radha Rani sukhi habe. Dhruva ati boli to matai. In that bhajan, Srila Prabhupada wrote on a Jalduta. In this bhajan, Srila Prabhupada writes that by sorry, not in this bhajan, in the other bhajan. Boro kripa koile Krishna adhamera prati. In that bhajan, Srila Prabhupada writes that by Krishna's will, we can become free. By Krishna's will, we are in this world. By Krishna's will, we can cross over this bhavasagar, this material world, and go to the spiritual world. Same thing Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya is speaking here to us. He's telling us that the pure spiritual Jiva's relationship with the material world. We are spiritual Jiva, but we have accepted a relationship with this material world because of falsely identifying ourselves as separate from Krishna, as individual entity. Krishna bhuliya jiv bhogavancha kare. Ataiva mayata bhogavancha kare. Nikatastha mayata jhapati andhare. Therefore, Maya has grabbed us because we have forgotten Krishna and we want to enjoy in this material world. So material nature grabs us. But this relationship with this material world is completely terminated when Krishna desires. Therefore, Krishna can say, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami vasucha. Man mana bhavaman bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru mam evashyasi. You will come to me. Krishna can take us. What does Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? That I deliver my devotees from this material world. I am the swift deliverer for my devotees. Mrityu samsara sakarat bhavami achirat partha. Very quickly Krishna will deliver us from this bhavasagar. So the relationship with the material world is terminated when Krishna desires. Until this time, as long as we have a relationship with the material world, the Jiva's relationship with the material world can only tend towards its eventual cessation. Kshayanmukha dasha. In the Kshayanmukha dasha stage, the Jiva's intelligence attains freedom from matter to the extent of Swarupataha Jada Mukti, but not to the extent of Vastutaha Jada Mukti. So this will be explained in the future slides. Don't get overwhelmed. So until Krishna desires that we become free from this material world, we can only tend towards its eventual cessation. Kshayanmukha. Eventually our relationship will be terminated. We can only travel in that direction. We can go. But only suppose I want to enter a house. I can go and knock and ring the bell and knock and ring the bell. But I can enter only when the owner of the house opens the door. That is called when Shri Krishna wills. And we knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell is called tending toward its eventual cessation. In the Kshayanmukha stage, the Jiva's intelligence attains complete freedom from matter. Up to the extent of Swarupata Jada Mukti, but not to the extent of Vastuta Jada Mukti. So what this is, we'll see. It's very simple, don't worry. When one attains the stage of Vastutaha Jada Mukti, so there are two things here. There is Swarupata Jada Mukti, which comes first, and later comes Vastuta Jada Mukti. Now let's see what is Vastuta Jada Mukti. When one attains the stage of Vastuta Jada Mukti, the Ragatmika Vritti, or the mood of the Ragatmika. Who are Ragatmikas? Yashoda Maiya, Nanda Baba, Madhu Mangal, Stoka Krishna, Ujjwal, Subal, Radha Rani's associates, the Ashtasakhis, Lalita Vishaka Sakhi, Rupa Manjari, Ananga Manjari. These are all Ragatmika Bhaktas, eternal residents of the spiritual world. They are not sadhana siddha, they are nitya siddhas. They are called Ragatmika Bhaktas. And Raganuga Bhakti means to be inspired by them, identify oneself as their servant, and follow their mood of worshipping Radha and Krishna. So when one attains the state of Vastuta Jada Mukti, what happens? The Ragatmika Vritti, or the mood of the Ragatmika, is awakened. Therefore, Vastuta Mukti is Prayojan. Vastuta Jada Mukti means we are actually situated in our Siddha Swarup. So that is awakened in the pure Jiva, both in terms of internal spiritual identity, we know our Swarup at that stage. Who am I in the spiritual world? And the constitutional state. What are services? So that is called Vastuta Jada Mukti, where we are actually situated in the spiritual world. We are completely aware of our spiritual identity and our spiritual functions. That is called Vastuta Jada Mukti. It is a Mukti where Vastuta, actually, we are in the spiritual world. It is the perfection of Raganuga Bhakti. This Ragatmika Prakriti is the nature of the eternal residents of Vraj. So we already saw this. What is Ragatmika Vritti? It is the nature of the eternal residents of Vraj in different relationships with Krishna. There are 5 relationships, different relations: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Out of this, in our Gaudiya Parampara, according to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, importance is given to 4: Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So that is a Ragatmika Vritti, the mood of the eternal residents of Vraj. The Jiva, who in the Kshayonmukha stage follows in the wake of the Ragatmika nature, is known as Raganuga. This also we already explained. Raganuga Bhakti means to follow in the footsteps of the Ragatmika Bhaktas, who are eternal residents of Krishna, Nitya Siddhas. One who follows the way of Rag. Rag means prem. Raganuga Bhakti means to follow the spontaneous impulses and impetus of love. Love dictates. Love reigns supreme. And then the religious do's and don'ts, Vaidhi Marg, it goes in the background, backseat. This condition of Raganuga should be ardently sought after by the Jivas. Our aim as Jivas is not to stay forever in the Vaidhi Bhakti Marg. Our aim is to enter one day the Raganuga platform. As long as this condition is absent, as long as we are not on the Raganuga platform, human intelligence remains spontaneously attached to mundane objects. Hare Krishna. So either we can be spontaneously attracted to Krishna, following in the footsteps of the eternal associates, that's Raganuga, or we can be spontaneously attracted to mundane things. We see a restaurant and immediately, today I feel like eating Chinese. Today I feel like, eating this, eating that. Oh, I wish I had a beautiful partner like him or her. Oh, I wish I had a car like that fellow. Oh, I wish I had a nice house like this. I wish I was tall and handsome or beautiful like that person. I wish I was a little bit more muscular and not so chubby. All these desires, they're all material desires. As long as we have these material desires, we should be safely situated in the Vaidhi Marg, the Vidhi Bhakti. But Vidhi Bhakti does not attract Krishna. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ādi Lila, 4th chapter. Lord Krishna himself tells that Vidhi Marg doesn't please me, doesn't attract me. Raganuga Bhakti. But as long as Raganuga Bhakti is absent in us, human intelligence, our buddhi, remains spontaneously attached to mundane objects. We should not be surprised that, so many years have passed, why I am still attracted to mundane things. No, because we have not reached the Raganuga platform. We are not spontaneously attracted to Krishna, therefore we are spontaneously attracted to matter. Slowly, we should increase our spontaneous attraction to Krishna. Initially by regulation, by practice, then we can reach the Raganuga platform. Until then, we should not be surprised we will have a spontaneous attraction for Maya. Spontaneous attraction. How Ajamil spontaneously got attracted. He didn't plan. He went to the forest. He just saw and just boom. He was attracted to the lady. Because we are still supposed to be on the Vaidhi Marg. So little deviation from the Vidhi Marg and we will be swept away into Maya. You have to be very careful because we have not reached the Raganuga platform of spontaneous love for Krishna. So we should understand this. Due to one's nisarga, the false acquired nature. So we saw in the first session of Jaiva Dharma, what is nisarga? So there is the nitya dharma of a vastu, and when it gets covered and transformed due to some external circumstances, that artificial nature is called nisarga. And the example we saw was water has taralta, water flows. But when water is subjected to an external condition of freezing temperature, the water becomes solid ice, stops flowing. So ice is the nisarga, the false acquired nature. You bring that ice into room temperature and again you will see water flowing, liquid. So nisarga means a vastu, objects, falsely acquired nature. Due to one's nisarga, the false acquired nature, the bewildered jiva mistakenly considers attachment for mundane objects to be his natural spiritual attachment. Swabhavik anurag. Swabhavik anurag. So you tell somebody that, oh, you should practice celibacy. They will argue, oh, why? But it's natural. Why are you telling me to be unnatural? The other day I was having an argument with a physician. I was talking to him about the negative effects of masturbation. And he said, oh, it's normal. What are you talking? It's normal. And he was telling that some tennis player did it just before his game and won. Well, I was saying it reduces the vital energy. He was arguing. No, it's natural. We should love nature. See, sounds poetic. The sex is natural and we should love nature. Let's do it. Let's have it. That's what the whole world is doing. They're indulging. So why? Because that person is in nisarga. Nisarga means he is in a falsely acquired nature. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is teaching us, as long as we are in nisarga, falsely acquired nature, we are bewildered. And what happens? The jiva mistakenly considers attachment for mundane objects to be natural. It's natural. Swabhavik anurag. It's natural. It's natural to want to become a millionaire. It's natural. What do you want to become when you grow up? I want to be the president. I want to be the CEO. I want to do this. Oh, very good, beta. Very good, my child. Be very ambitious like that. Materially ambitious. Nobody asks, what spiritual accomplishments would you like to have in this lifetime? In this lifetime, do you have the ambition of seeking out a pure devotee spiritual master? In this lifetime, do you have the ambition to get initiated and surrender at the lotus feet of a pure devotee so you can do bhajan? Nobody asks those questions in the material world. Why? Because they are in nisarga. They are in their artificial, falsely acquired nature. And in that stage, they think attraction to money, women, success, fame, prestige is natural. Swabhavik anurag. At that time, one's natural pure attachment for spiritual objects is not present. You see why some people are not interested? Because it's like telling ice, a block of solid ice, flow, flow, flow. Hey, you're not flowing? Yeah, it'll not flow because yes, it is H2O, but it's nisarga. It's become solid ice because it's in sub-zero freezing temperature. It's not going to flow no matter how much you chant, how much you command. Flow, flow, flow. It won't flow. Chant, 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 can't. Those people cannot. Because they have swabhavik anurag, natural attachment for mundane things. And they consider that to be the ultimate. So they will not be attached to spiritual things. Now I want to do more, but it's late, so we'll stop here. It's already 5 minutes past. So we'll stop here. We'll continue the third chapter. Our Vaishnadas Babaji Maharaj will continue his discourse to Lahiri Sahib and the assembly. So it is late and we will take only one question. Shanta Radhika Mataji, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. मेरा कोई question नहीं प्रभुजी. I am asking about question of paper for module 2.
Hare Mataji, please. This is Jaiva Dharma. You contact
Sorry.
contact Shama Kishori Mataji.
Okay.
Please. Huh? Contact Shama Kishori.
Okay. Sorry.
Don't worry. Everything will be figured out. Yeah. Okay, so no questions about Jaiva Dharma. So we'll stop here, dear devotees. Thank you very much. Sorry, I just came from Tifton. I'm very tired. I drove 3 hours in the morning, did a 12-hour shift and drove back 3 hours. So 6 hours of driving and 12 hours of work. I'm really exhausted. Please forgive me if I'm being a little curt. I'm sorry. Hare Krishna. Mataji, please forgive me. Shanta Radhika Mataji. Hare Krishna. Don't worry, this is Jaiva Dharma. Whatever problem you have in Bhakti Vaibhav, we'll solve it. Just contact Shama Kishori Mataji. She will help you. So we'll stop here. And tomorrow we have Bhakti Vaibhav. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So, one second. I want to hear your voice, all of you. So let me unmute all of you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.